You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Brown goes to work, finds an open again. The Navy show continues.
Your eye out on Cada. He's on one side of the rim, relocates to the other. It's exactly what you want to do.
Last chance for the Celtics. It's Pritchard from the baseline. Missed it. And the Sixers come into the Garden and spoil the season opener. Joe Mazzulla's first loss.
Well, take a look. Pritchard gets the catch. Guy on his hip. Not a lot of time. I don't know.
Yeah, let me finish Brian Scalabrini's sentence. I don't know why Jaylen Brown didn't touch the ball there and take the final shot. Anyway, Philadelphia 76ers beat the Celtics last night. Celtics blow a late 11-point lead. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It is a Thursday morning here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Let's get it going. Thanks for checking us out across the awesome Coastal Sports Digital Network video platform. Follow me on Twitter on XNPShep326, across YouTube, Kick, Rumble, CSDN, Florida, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Odyssey. You can text the show today, 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. Angel Martinez off again. He's going to be off again tomorrow, too. He's not feeling well at all. Every time he seems to be recovering, it gets a little worse. Anyway, we hope Angel will be back with us on Monday. But nevertheless, I have a great show lined up for you today as well. Can't play a lot of video, obviously, when Angel's not around, but we got enough audio. We're going to do a complete NBA rundown, NHL recap as well. Wembanyama last night was just unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable for the Spurs. Trevor Harris coming up today, WQAM in Miami at 8:05. We'll talk Hurricanes. I still don't understand, and I'll get to it in a second. Hector Longo at 8:30 from the Eagle Tribune. Talk a little bit more about the Patriots and the Cleveland Browns. And Matt Baker from The Athletic, great college football writer, broadcaster. And we will talk a lot, I'm sure, about Florida State, Florida, Penn State, and some of the bigger matchups this weekend, including Vanderbilt and Missouri. Coming up, not any top 10 matchups, but a couple of top 20 matchups. My Hurricanes hopefully get back on track, and they should, against the Stanford Cardinal as they come into Hard Rock on a Saturday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Shenanigans, it was great to see the boys back on ESPN, and nothing really has changed. I'm talking about Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and, of course, Chuck Charles Barkley. Even though I can't play the video, there's some hilarious stuff, as always. And I always strive to give you the most entertaining stuff because their pregame show now, coming over from TNT to ESPN, their pregame, halftime, and postgame shows must watch. A lot of times better than the games. So I just I watched the whole Celtics game last night. And disappointing, obviously, at the end, but we'll get to that. Maxey was unbelievable last night. He had 40 points, and the kid from Baylor, VJ Edgecombe, had 34 in his NBA debut last night. Scored the most points in an NBA debut since Wilt Chamberlain had 43 back on October 24th, 1959. Good Lord. And you can certainly see, like I still think the Celtics are going to be a much better team than people realize. But that was last night. Just they blew a lead. They're up by 11. In the fourth quarter, you got to win that game. Derek White had 13 points of his 25 in the third. Celtics went on a 16-0 run to turn a 5-point deficit into an 11-point lead. They led 98-84 with 9 minutes to go before the Sixers scored 8 straight points to make it close. So that kind of sucked. It really did. But yeah, it's opening night, whatever. It cracks me up, and not just for Celtics fans or people that post on social media, but other groups as well. One game, the season's over. If they fire the coach, do this. It's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. So the Celtics lose 117-116. They're on Amazon on tomorrow night, where they will take on the hated New York Knicks, a team. And there were some out there, some even on ESPN, some even from NBA Tip-Off last night that think the Knicks are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals at least. And I don't know. I seriously doubt it. Because they will, like the Jets, although they're not as pathetic an organization, but the Knicks will find a way to not make it. There's no question about it. Magic beat the Heat last night, 125 to 121. Again, highlights of all this stuff. Lots of NFL news to tell you about. Some cuts from all the games coming up tonight. An interesting game, the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Chargers. I assume it'll be a ton of Vikings fans at SoFi because there aren't a lot of real Charger fans out there. So this will feel like a Vikings home game. As anybody who plays the Chargers or the Rams, for the most part, at that stadium, it's like a home game. But the Chargers expected to get a couple of offensive linemen back. It seems that way. Alton, the other kid, whose name escapes me right now. So Chargers tonight, they are a 3.5-point favorite at home against the Vikings, and Carson Wentz. Total is 44.5. I'm telling you right now, I'm rolling with the Chargers tonight. Probably buy half a point down to 3 just for shits and giggles. But I like the Chargers tonight to get it done. Carson Wentz on a short week, and he didn't look good last. He had some moments last week, but I don't know, a couple interceptions. I'm not feeling it for Viking fans out there with Carson Wentz in a short week, despite having home field advantage tonight. In LA against the Chargers. All right, we'll get to some of the highlight, and I got shenanigans here from NBA Tip-Off, and it was great to see a lot of the. It actually felt like you were still watching TNT, and I'm glad they did not tone down their act at all last night on NBA Tip-Off, and. Just kidding. I'm going to play before I get to the NBA highlights from last night and college football, NFL. We got a lot to get to again. It's going to be all audio today, no video because Angel is off. I am here in beautiful Fort Myers where the humidity has gone down tremendously. It's about 72 degrees and gorgeous, going into the mid 80s today here in Southwest Florida. So very, very happy about that as usual. Living in paradise, as we say down here. Anyway, wherever you are around this great country of ours and around the world, thank you for checking us out. And of course, the Armed Forces and Network, thank you for serving our country and for checking out the Pete Sheppard Show and the Coastal Sports Digital Network. All right, before we get to the highlights, so NBA tip-off stuff. So here's Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. And Kenny has an observation. He's displeased with the new set at ESPN. So nothing's really changed.
Exactly where it is.
Can I give a shout out?
Yes, in fact, you would ask.
I want to give a shout out to the digital art department here, because they're the only people who did something different around here, and they put new signage up on the digital. But everybody else has done nothing. I don't know why. TK has done nothing different. Fiorillo's done nothing different.
You ain't doing nothing different.
Our spots are the same.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was going to come in here and see a whole different. Didn't you, Shaq? Like a whole ESPN different. Where y'all putting the money at? That's all y'all digital people. Whoever's the digital person who put it on the screens, congratulations. You deserve a raise. Nobody else has done anything different since I've been here. Slice is still asking me for the same orders.
You almost late again.
The makeup lady,
You're right. You're still consistent.
The makeup lady got the same makeup. They didn't even go from L'Oreal to another thing. Like, nobody's changed. Come on, man.
Exactly.
I'll have more shenanigans a little bit later on. I'm telling you, the broadcast, it's unbelievable, that crew. It's sometimes way more entertaining than the games themselves. All right, as long as we're talking about the NBA, let's do a little bit of rundown, give you some of the highlights, maybe for some, and lowlights for others. Chicago and Detroit. Detroit's going to be one of those teams and the Orlando Magic are going to be one of those sexy picks this year that they're going to come blah, 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 blah. And, as usual, I will believe it when I see it. All right, let's get a couple of highlights here.
Jones attacks, lobs, shot slammer, jammer's back, baby. Throw it up there. Might as well go get it.
That's the Bulls. Again, credit right there is CHSN. network there. Bazelis with the alley-oop. And Chicago goes on to win 115-111. Knicks and Cleveland. A lot of people that think this will be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly. Maybe the Cavs won't lose their first 2 games at home in the first round like they did last year. So, long way to go. It's a pretty entertaining game last night.
Knicks lead back up to 10. Mitchell lost the ball. McBride ahead to Clarkson. Clarkson throws it down. And a Garden up on its feet. Timeout, Cleveland. Knicks back up a dozen.
Knicks go on to win. Thanks to ESPN with the call. Knicks go on to beat Cleveland 119-111. Let's continue. Charlotte and Brooklyn in a game that nobody gives a shit about, but maybe we do have some listeners that might. Here's one of the early highlights. It'll be the only one from this.
Two-up pro ball. Here comes LaMelo. Brandon! First alley-oop of the year. Wow, quickly.
Yay, LaMelo Ball with the alley-oop pass and the slam to Brandon Miller, thanks to FanDuel Sports Network there. Charlotte goes on to win 136-117. Orlando and Miami in a battle of the Florida teams going at it last night. A couple of
rebound run down by Davion. Hits ahead for Wiggins. Yes, sir. Plus a foul.
All right, free throw made, 72-72 in the third quarter. Let's head down the stretch here in the fourth quarter. This is from FanDuel Sports Network.
Still up by 1. Adebayo. Rejected. Carter got him from behind.
Magic have numbers if they hurry.
5 on 4. The pass goes in. Backhammer stuffs it in.
Yes, and finally at the very end.
Suggs behind the back. Suggs against Powell. Suggs leading. Nowhere to go. Firing now under duress. He puts it in.
Go ahead, Jay Suggs.
All right, final. Orlando beats Miami 125-121 in that one. Philadelphia, as I said, over the Celtics last night. And Maxey was outstanding for the Sixers.
5-20 so far tonight. Maxey looking to go back-to-back, and he does! Back-to-back trays for Tyrese Maxey.
Crowd oohing and on, too, before he even let that shot go.
Tyrese is
Yeah, he was outstanding last night, as was the rookie. Meanwhile, Keita had a pretty good night for the Celtics as well. I think he's going to be one of the most improved players in the league.
Brown goes to work. Finds an open. Oh, again! The Navy show continues.
Your eye out on Keita. He's on one side of the rim, relocates to the other. It's exactly what you want to do playing that low dunker.
All right, thanks to that was from NBC Sports Boston. And down the stretch in the end, Celtics had a chance, made a little comeback at the end. They blew it a 10-point lead with 9 minutes to go. They were up 11. They won a 16-0 run. And you thought they were going to blow out Philadelphia, but they did not. They bricked a few threes and could not hang on. Here's how it came down the stretch.
Last chance for the Celtics. It's Pritchard from the baseline. Missed it. And the Sixers come into the Garden and spoil the season opener. Joe Mazzulla's first loss.
Well, take a look. Pritchard gets the catch. Guy on his hip. Not a lot of time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was watching that broadcast. I don't know is why he said, I don't know why Jaylen Brown didn't get the ball. I don't either. Jaylen Brown led the way for the Celtics, along with Derek White. Each had 25 points. JB had 25, 6, 4, and 6 rebounds, 4 assists. D. White with 25, 3, and 4 as well. Keita had 17 and 8, and Pritchard had 16 and 5. It just left a sour. Gave me a sour stomach watching that game at the end. But nevertheless. Outstanding night for the Philadelphia 76ers. Tyrese Maxey scored 40, and the rookie from Baylor, VJ Edgecombe, added 34 in his NBA debut. As I said, an amazing stat. Edgecombe scored the most points in an NBA debut. This is not just for the 76ers. This is for everybody. Edgecombe scored the most points in an NBA debut since Wilt Chamberlain did it with 43 on October 24th, 1959. That is absolutely crazy. Memphis and New Orleans last night. Let's hear a couple of highlights from FanDuel South.
Jackson screens. KCP, a three. Yes, sir! Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
All right, that was a 14-0 run by Memphis. They take an 82-78 lead, and here's how it went down in the end.
Possession. Did he get to the paint? Got the roll. 1 point deficit. 1:48 to play. Zion with the bucket.
All right, Memphis goes on to win 128. Where is it? Where's my box score? Yeah, Memphis goes on to win the game 128-122 in that one. Milwaukee, a lot of people think are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals as well. Milwaukee and Washington, very, very high-scoring game. Not a lot of D here.
He knocked down 3 straight three-pointers in that first half.
Rising up, and the Greek Freak throws it down.
This is the way that you prevent the shot blocker from being effective. You don't just float it up there so he can pick it out of the air. You take it right through it.
Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo last night, that courtesy right there, FanDuel Sports Network again. Giannis had an outstanding night. 37 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists for the big guy. Yeah, no defense. Utah and the Clippers last night as well.
Defense. Yep, rookie to rookie. Steal, pass. Get up there. Another Bailey in the house, Bowler. Getting it done. And that's really a good first bucket for him. He loves that.
Yeah. So it's Bailey dunked for the first points in the NBA. Here's Bradley Beal, first points with the Clippers.
2 full notebooks of handwritten notes that he learned a ton from one of the great coaches of all time. Beal knocks down the 3. Welcome to the family, Bradley Beal.
All right, but Jazz go on to win last night by a score of 129-108. All right. Moving right along, this was I wanted to see Victor Wembanyama was put on a couple of pounds. He looked absolutely unstoppable last night. Absolutely unstoppable.
Lively denied emphatically by Wembanyama.
It's like playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old. What do you do?
Wemby 3. You bet! Plus the foul.
Oh, my goodness. He was outstanding last night. Let's keep it going. Cooper Flagg making his NBA debut as well.
Davis does start the second half on the floor as Flagg is finally on the board. Those are the first points.
All right. Again, thanks to ESPN. And the end of the game was all Wemby.
Wemby spinning, elevating. You bet! A 40-point opener for Victor Wembanyama.
Yep, he had 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 1 assist. Anthony Davis couldn't stop him at all. I don't know if anybody could stop him. I mean, he's just that good. He is just freaking awesome. By the way, Flagg had 10 points and 10 rebounds last night in a losing effort for the Mavericks. But Wemby was absolutely on fire last night. Absolutely on fire. All right, let's continue. Phoenix and Sacramento. Russell Westbrook.
Fairly decent job of not allowing them the second chance points.
Oh, great cut by Westbrook. Fouled and counted.
All right, one more highlight.
They saw him turn Booker over. Book on the fade.
Bucket.
Suns go on to win over the Kings, 120-116. Booker led the way, 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And finally, Minnesota and the Portland Trailblazers went at it last night as well.
5 on the shot clock. Edwards gonna have to fire. Step back, Trey. Money in his grill.
It's a hard shot.
Yes, he does. And it was Edwards. Anthony Edwards right there. The Minnesota Timberwolves go on to win 118-114. Let's see. I'll give you another. Ant-Man.
Edwards. Pull up, Jay. Got it. Cold
told everybody he wants to be unstoppable.
Again, the final 118-114, the Timberwolves win over the Portland Trailblazers. So getting back to shenanigans from the tip-off crew last night, again, nothing has changed from TNT to ESPN, and Kenny the Jet Smith upset that the set seemed like exactly the same. But the guys, thank goodness, they have not toned down their act at all. ESPN has said they would leave them alone. So far, they have. So Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck, outstanding. And the crew can't believe how slim Chuck is.
Frightened by...
Dude, you did lose weight.
Objects.
God,
Yeah,
hey.
look at this dude. Look at this guy.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Just look behind you.
Hey, shout out to my doctors at Row.co.
I thought you told me you was like riding a bike and jogging.
I'm working out too now. You got to work out. You can't just take a shot.
His new name, Kenny?
What's that?
You know his new name?
What's the new name?
Roe Parrish.
Shout out to my girl Molly at Row.co.
He's so happy right now.
I am happy.
Can I give a
Now, don't forget, and obviously the studios used to be on TNT in Atlanta and whatever. This show is still, I believe, based in Atlanta. Now, while that's going on ESPN, the NHL is on TNT at the same time. Shaq, it's not the first time he's done it. It takes a stroll over to the set.
Always
back. Shaq Hyman.
What?
Back.
No. Tyson Koshak.
We got a new one. Oh, my God.
Like that one?
I mean, I wasn't ready for it. You've been working on your skating in the offseason. This is impressive. You want Fart to get over here. He's back.
Who are Tyson Koshak. I just scored, didn't I?
Who are your early favorite cup winners right now? Early favorites.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. Thanks for a great segment. None of us do.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Right-handed stick.
The greatest net front presence in the history of hockey.
That's so good.
The great Shaquille O'Neal. Crash.
All right. Meanwhile, more from Chuck last night. And like I said, this is very entertaining. This is more entertaining than some of the games that happened last night. Chuck said he was a little nervous for his technically ESPN debut last night.
I was nervous today, I'm not going to lie, because and Shaq and Kenny can say the same thing, every person who's ever touched the ball wanted to be on ESPN. They are the greatest sports network ever. And to be working for these guys is an honor and a privilege. It is.
Oh my God!
Oh, you didn't when you was in high school. When you were in high school and college, you didn't want to be on ESPN. I'm asking you a question.
I'm saying you want.
I'm asking you a question. When you were playing in New York and didn't you want to be on ESPN?
I will answer that question.
Yes.
But do you want a napkin for all that kissing up?
Hey, listen.
Man, wait, look here, man. You just badgered them for every day.
Look at
Here's
the
your
Thursday schedule.
No.
Running at 301 from New York.
Hey, listen.
The Ocho and then done.
Ocho.
The World Axe Throwing League. Going to be doing some analysis of that and the American Cornhole League.
Hey, man, listen. I told y'all, it's an honor to work for ESPN. They're not going to work me like a dog.
You played at Auburn. Y'all wasn't on ESPN back there.
Hey, there you go. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. One thing I ain't going to be is Stephen A. Smith everywhere.
Okay, you keep marking. I guarantee. Hey, Shaq, I guarantee he'll be on some ESPN show tomorrow. I guarantee it. There's no way he will not be on something tomorrow.
Are you already booked for a show on ESPN tomorrow?
Yes, you are. We're here tomorrow. See,
I saw you on ESPN today.
Yeah, you were on. You were on this morning.
Talk about kissing ass.
Hey, listen.
Does it taste like chicken?
No, we talking about.
Oh, now we sponsored by Popeye.
Which is true. Oh my goodness! Oh my God! I get some other shenanigans from them coming up a little bit later on. All right, I want to do an NHL rundown here as well. A lot of times I don't get to do it, or I want to do it, but we get caught up with guests and everything else. But I have time today, so we'll do that. Then we'll take a break. Then we'll come back, and it'll be mostly football the rest of the way between the NFL and college. Lots of cuts with all the Very good games as usual coming up this weekend. Good morning, Josh. He says, any real estate for sale down there? Massachusetts is turning into a hellhole. Well, there's always, there's real estate available in every state. And sure, there's lots of real estate available down here in Southwest Florida and through the entire state. Just questions of what your needs are, not only emotionally, physically, financially, but, whatever. There's plenty of real estate down here. There's lots of people that are moving down here for a variety of reasons, whether it be weather or no taxes. Although don't ever get caught up. Everybody gets caught up with Florida and Texas and any other state that doesn't do income taxes and stuff like that. Trust me, they get you another way. It sort of evens out. It sort of evens out. But nevertheless, from a paycheck standpoint, yes, it's great to be in a state that doesn't have income tax. All right, let's get to the NHL. New Jersey, the Devils last night taking on the Minnesota Wild.
Over the New Jersey Devils, Juracek for slashing at 4:49. Devils 0 for 1 on the power play, and they score his first NHL goal. Gritsuk on the power play, and the Devils take a 3-0 lead. What a wrist shot!
It's already waiting for that first goal, and it's right off the face-off. Look at the release after the Devils win it, and the quick wrister right here by Arsenij Gritsuk. What a moment.
Yes, thanks right there to the MSGN for the call. Buffalo and Detroit game is tied at 2. Let's head to the third period.
McLeod. There's Byram. Down low, McLeod along the goal line. Back out for a shot. Score! On the power play, the Sabres take a 3-2 lead.
How about that? Sabres go on to win 4-2. Double up Detroit. How about that? Thanks to TNT with the call there. Montreal and Calgary. This happened last night.
So this is a rarity. You're going to play with the lights not fully up, and you'll notice the difference when they get charged in here.
So on the television screen, it looks pretty normal, but I can tell you that it's still a little bit darker here in the building.
This isn't quite like pulling the truck up on the outdoor rink, but here comes Caulfield with a shot right on. Wolf, his first test, and I think it's got to affect the goalies the most.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, again, thanks to Sportsnet right there. Half the lights went out in Calgary at the Saddle Dome, wherever the hell they call it now. And but that didn't take away from being a very good hockey game and went into OT.
Newhook over the boards. Trailed by Demidov, who has it now. Demidov in some room. Hesitates, Matheson scores! Demidov with the setup. Matheson wins it, and Montreal keeps their roll going.
And Colby talking about his wide stance. There's a couple examples of it right here. Spreads it out. More than shoulder width apart. He spots Matheson coming in from the point, and a perfectly placed pass and a perfectly placed shot just over the pad of Dustin Wolf. Great vision by Demidov.
Yep, 2-1 final right there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be all football. We have some... Why do I say this every day? We have some more incredible audio this time. Just audio. You know, you can just visualize it. Get your Mike McDaniel closed caption button ready. Although those of you don't have it, I have one professionally installed. More Mike McDaniel pedantic blathering. Tua continues to just baffle me almost as much, but in a different sort of baffling than Mike McDaniel. We're also going to hear from the Utes head coach Mario Cristobal. I just love around, national people, not everybody, but there's so many, the Feinbaums of the world. And I do like Paul a lot. I understand that. But, why is it okay for everybody to lose a game except for the Hurricanes? Why is it okay? All right, they should have won the game. They had no business losing. Louisville's a good team, so I'm not going to say they have no business losing. But there are other teams around the country that have had far worse losses. Okay, whether it be early on, I don't care. Alabama lost to Florida State. I don't want to hear it. how well they're playing now. I get all that. It just seems like there's a certain standard for everybody else, and then Miami loses a game that they should have won at home. Carson Beck threw 4 picks at the end. We're going to hear from Carson Beck actually when we come back, because we're going to hear from Carson Beck, and he's going to tell you about he didn't mean to throw Elijah Lofton under the bus when he was throwing him the ball. Now, you can say they should have been running the ball at the end and all that. I grant you everything, okay? But it's just like people just going, oh, here we go again. It's the same old Miami, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, it's not. It's not going to be the same old Miami. I think they're going to kick the crap out of Stanford this week. They're a huge favorite. I think they're favored by 35 in that game. And they're going to be a tough team to beat down the stretch. They will be a tough team to beat down the stretch. That's the way I see it. I just don't understand why people, the Georgia Tech thing from a couple of years ago and how it went down defensively last year where they couldn't stop anybody. It's different. Yes, they should have won the game, but very few teams go undefeated, okay? It was a bad loss, but not horrific. Louisville's a ranked team now. They're a very good football team. Virginia's a very good football team. Clemson's playing better. North Carolina stinks in the ACC. In Miami, there's no guarantee. Remember, the top 4 seeds are not necessarily conference wins, all that. So it's just going to be basically the AP top 12. The top 4 are going to get in. And next week, I believe November 4th, or in a couple of weeks is when the first college football rankings do come out. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from Carson Beck. We're going to hear from Mario Cristobal. We're going to hear from Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to hear from Mike McDaniel and a lot of other sound as well coming up. We're going to hear from Drake May as well and Dylan Gabriel as the Patriots get ready to take on the Browns on Sunday. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on a Thursday on I got to get my commercial set up. On the Coastal Sports Digital Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody, back here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. How is everybody doing today? Got to take another short break here. Got to reset some stuff, and I will return in about 2 minutes, okay? We'll get some college football and some NFL stuff next here on Pete Sheppard Show, Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Yeah, I was never throwing him under the bus. And when asked the question, I was asked, what happened on the last play. And I think if you go watch the whole clip of what happened, I mean, you can go look at what I said. But again, I mean, an interception is on me. And again, I'm ultimately the guy with the ball in his hands at the end, right? So I have to take accountability for that. But again, when I think people can take things out of context sometimes, and that's not at all what I was doing. I've never been that type of person. I've never been that type of way, and I've always taken accountability for my mistakes. Again, I didn't play my best. I honestly had a terrible game, and that's a huge part of why we lost. And I have to live with that. I have to take that. But again, it's going to be how I respond.
That's Miami Hurricane quarterback Carson Beck, absolutely. And after the game, it certainly seemed like he kind of threw Elijah Lofton under the bus. I mean, it was an incredible interception at the end, but a ball that should not have been thrown. The Hurricanes upset loss by 3 points to Louisville last Friday night at Hard Rock. Anyway, welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Digital Network, and Miami hoping to redeem themselves. And I think they will in a big way, and I still think they're going to be a very, very tough team to beat down the stretch. I mean, the there's people that think that the SEC is this absolute superior conference, or the Big Ten is. I mean, what? It's very, very close. There is really not one dominant, superior team. Do I think Ohio State is playing overall the best of everybody right now? Yeah, I do. Right now they are, but can they be beat? They lost 2 games last year and won the championship. They didn't win the Big Ten title last year. So everybody just calm down. Just enjoy it. What is unbelievable to me is we're already halfway through the college football season, which kind of stinks, to be honest with you. But let's keep on the Miami theme. Let's hear from head coach Mario Cristobal, and then coming up at 8:05, more from WQAM, Trevor Harris in Miami. Hector Longo at 8:30 from the Eagle Tribune. We'll talk about the Patriots and the Browns. And Matt Baker at 9 o'clock. We'll close out the show with him from The Athletic. All right, Mario Cristobal saying during his weekly press conference that, yes, they have to absolutely execute better.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, we just got to execute better, and that's both on coaching and on players. And sometimes there's opportunities underneath, and sometimes you take a shot and it works. Yeah. Sometimes they make a good play, which on one of them they made a very good play, and other times we just need to execute better. But again, that's not on one player. That's on all of us, and it's coaches and it's players. We win together, we lose together. Nope.
All right, here's more. No sugarcoating from Mario.
All of us always have to understand is that you're not supposed to be a team. You have to earn being a team. And in college football, which is now it's working its way to being pro football, every single team has really good players, and you have 6, 7, now some even 8 games of film out there. Mm-hmm. So if you are not at your best, these margins are so small that a penalty that derails a possession, a missed field goal, a non-conversion, all those things, those margins are so small that if you give enough of those away, you're going to get your ass beat, okay? So that means that every single detail, every single day has to be attended to at the highest level, and that's what we work at doing. We didn't get the outcome we wanted, but one thing about us, we never, ever quit. We don't stay down, and we go back to work, man. You know, you handle it like a grown-ass man. That's it. No excuses, no sugarcoating. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if there's anybody on the planet, except for the haters out there, that didn't think the Hurricanes were going to come back and win that game. Even though they're down by 11 late, they scored a late touchdown, got the tricksy, dipsy-do play for the 2-point conversion. And they're driving. The defense played excellent for the most part in the second half, did a great job. Every time Louisville started, really, they shut them down. And Miami's driving. All they do is they're in field goal range, or they're just about in field goal range for Davis. And unfortunately, it was a bad play. Carson Beck obviously did not have a good game. I'll give him a little latitude on the first 2 interceptions. Those were incredible plays by the Louisville D-backs. The last 2, inexcusable. The third one off his back foot was really, really bad. So hopefully he's going to learn from his mistakes, and I think he will, and get the Canes back going again against Stanford. Here is Mario on the run struggles for the Hurricanes.
You know, certainly we've got to enhance the way that we run the ball. We've got to do the things that we really do well up front and commit to it. And again, it just falls on all of us. So it's not what we want. It has not been our MO, our identity to not run the ball in an effective manner like we did on Friday. So we certainly got to do a better job.
Yeah, there is no question about it. I think that you'll see a big change in that against Stanford coming up on a Saturday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN. And the last one from Mario Cristobal.
How do you get this team to bounce back? So this, hey guys, let's get over this. The hangover's done. We got to win the rest of these games, and it's one at a time. Look at them. We got a damn good team here. You worry about that at all after that loss, the disappointment, or getting these guys to bounce back, or you feel good about it?
No, I don't worry about that, because at the end of the day, we have good people, really good competitors. And we cannot lose sight. This is the same team that started off 5-0 against a really tough schedule. Same people, the same players, and the same coaches. And you know what we learned? We learned the lesson of, if you don't perform, if you don't coach at the highest level every single week, humility's right around the corner. And with all as poorly as we did things on Friday, we still had the ball at the 30-yard line with the ability to at least tie or win the game. So you go at it directly, with honesty, with transparency, and you make sure that everybody gets back to work and make sure that we address the things that need to get better and push forward. There's no looking back. That thing is done. You got to go forward. You got a great team coming to town. Got to play ball.
All right, and yes, Stanford, by the way, their quarterback, Ben Gulbranson, has been sacked 21 times this year. And going up against Ruben Bain Jr., who was a little, for him, it was a tad quiet. Sometimes, you know, because he's not in on a whole bunch of tackles, people may say, oh, well, he had a bad game. But he's also gets double teamed. I mean, he's arguably one, not just the best defensive player in the country, which he is, but he's also one of the best college football players in the country, and I would not be surprised. In fact, I expect him to be in New York for being one of the finalists for the Heisman Trophy. So we'll see. We'll see what Frank Reich's team can do for the Stanford Cardinal. Coming into Miami is a 30.5-point favorite. 30.5-point favorite. The total is 45.5. And I definitely love the over. And I think you're going to see Fletcher Jr. and Brown get back at it and get going that running game and that offensive line. I think Stanford's going to be in for a long night. 30.5-point favorite, the Hurricanes are. Not that they can't do that. They've only had one big blowout win, which was over South Florida. But I like the over in that game, I'm telling you right now. That may be one of my specials when I do my pigskin picks tomorrow. All right. Let's get to the Miami Dolphins, shall we? And I still, every day, I scratch my head. You know, and I felt like, I'll tell you what, I Mike McDaniel'd myself this morning. You talk about Stunad, me, this morning. Here's my routine. I get up about 4:45 every morning, 10:05. I come in here, turn all the equipment on in the studio, and walk out, turn the lights on, put the TV on, put local news on in the morning for 15 minutes before I switch over to ESPN. Turn the coffee machine on, which I already have set up from the night before. Except dumbass me. What do I do this morning? I turn the coffee pot on. The coffee's there. Except the coffee pot is upside down on the in back of me in the sink. Completely forgot to put the pot of coffee under. So, come out, check on the coffee 10 minutes later. I couldn't believe it didn't go all over the floor. Incredibly, it didn't. But that's how my morning started today. I screwed up the pot of coffee. I have not. I don't think I've ever done that. I've done a lot of stupid things, you know, and I'm klutzy anyway. But that was all-time stupid. So any of you out there that think your day is off to a bad start, I bet you didn't forget to put your coffee pot under the, under the coffee maker like I did. Absolute idiot. Anyway, I segued to Mike McDaniel. Speaking of idiots who are head coaches. And he's an idiot head coach. I'm not saying he's an idiot, but he's an idiot head coach. Here's Mike McDaniel. Get ready. Here it comes.
Realistically, for me, run-pass ratio is a thing. And how do you get more runs? Well, you don't turn the ball over. Could you have avoided turning the ball over with your style of play or your play calling or who you're throwing to or what you're doing? All things, without revealing a competitive advantage, all things are assessed for sure.
Oh my goodness. I'm just setting something up here. So that was Mike McDaniel because the Dolphins changed their style of play. And here is now Mike McDaniel on his relationship, or how are things, hang on a second. I'm sorry about this. Okay, here we go. Mike McDaniel, more Mike McDaniel on Tua.
You said you were confident that the team hadn't checked out on you based on the way they performed. what makes you confident that the way they perform after Cleveland that they have to check out?
Well, that's I can totally understand that question, and based upon the play of the team, it's very fair to worry about, which is why I think it was important for me to really take measure of the players in and out of the building to kind of get a better beat on that. I've spent a little more time, or kind of changed my routine to know for myself by being around them more and knowing exactly where they're at. And my confidence comes from direct communication from them, not in a meeting form, but quite literally and on the ground floor of the facility. And whether it's 5:45 this morning or it was 5 p.m. yesterday, the players on the player day off when they're in and out of the building, or for this day of business, they've been very focused on the Atlanta Falcons, which is the only thing that I care about, because I know in the NFL, if you don't have 100% focus on the opponent will make you regret that.
Oh, my Lord. Write that down. Another fortune cookie moment from Mike McDaniel. How about what's going on with Tua?
He's never strayed 100% from being questioned as a player. He's at a high-profile position, and that is the expectation, is to have standards that he has for himself, and he knows that as the franchise quarterback, when you don't live up to your own standard, you're probably going to get a lot of unintended consequences by sheer result, and you're going to hear about it. And I have confidence based on my history with him that he'll respond in the appropriate manner, which I made sure to communicate with him, and he's received it and pressed forward to the Atlanta Falcons, which is what our entire team is very much focused on. Anything else other than the Atlanta Falcons is a waste of our time, and we're not doing a service to what we need to be doing to try to win a game.
Lord have mercy. So last week, I had the pleasure of attending my 40th reunion at Bishop Hendricken High School in Rhode Island, and met some wonderful young men besides my old classmates. And head football coach Keith Croft gave such a great speech before the game, before the homecoming game went out to play Central. I'm trying to think. If Mike McDaniel, forget about my high school, which he would have no business coaching anyway, but just a peewee football team, to listen to this guy, Teddy Bruce. I mean, as I've said, I'm tired of patting myself on the back, but I'll keep doing it. I've been saying it for over 2 years. Why would anybody want to play for this guy? I seriously, why would you want to play for this guy? He inspires nothing.
Is the quarterback's position, and I think what he's referring to is the layers of that when you have in-game injuries. For a quarterback, that changes substitution, it changes the tempo. You're figuring out.
I can't do it. But again, getting back to Coach Croft last week, did an unbelievable motivational speech. For like a couple minutes, it was fantastic. Way more inspiring. And it's not even fair, because Coach Croft is on a different level than Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel couldn't inspire a bad jelly donut. I mean, it's just freaking pathetic that somebody like that is allowed. It's such a privilege to play in the NFL, to coach in the NFL. And you got bozos like this, like that. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. Stephen Ross, what the hell are you doing with this organization? Now we get to Tua. Let me see. I want to make sure I get these cuts right. I want to make sure. Let's see. Here's Tua. How about Tua? Reaction on Mike McDaniel's 10 interceptions remark from the other day.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I mean that's true. No, like you don't want anyone that's going in there to hinder the team from being able to win a game, right? And as I said, earlier, you go out there. Like for me, I go out there with the expectation to help our team win. You turn the ball over. You turn the ball over the way I've turned the ball over this year. You can't expect to help the guys win the game. My job
First
as
of
a
all,
quarterback
well coached.
is to get our offense going, just march down the field, put points on the board, regardless of what that looks like. 3, 6, whatever that looks like, right? And you can't do that when you're turning the ball over. So that's what I got to say.
All right, here's Tua on his turnovers this season and other
Yeah,
issues.
who said I throw interception in bunches, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm frustrated about those, and I got to do something about that. That's for sure. Can't turn the ball over, and I've been saying this for weeks. Can't turn the ball over and expect to win the game when you lose the turnover marginal game.
Really?
So
is that how it works? Is that how it works?
That's what is known for me, for sure.
I
gotta
got
be better
you.
in that aspect. Coming into this game against the number one pass defense or one of the better pass defensive teams that we're going to go against. So gotta be on it for my guys, and my ball placement got to be supreme for our guys for run after catches as well.
I think because you're around Mike McDaniel, I don't necessarily blame Tua, but I think brain matter escapes. I don't know what it is. Something happens when you hang around Mike McDaniel, a.k.a. Charlie Brown. You start spewing crap that's just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And this was another one. He had another interesting comment to make. And then I'm going to move on here a little bit. And there's a Josh Prey clip that I want to play. Here is Tua. Now, this is so weird. This, to me, tell me, does this not sound a little off? Tua says he didn't hit Jalen Waddle much because he had trouble seeing him.
Yeah, I think with that, some of it has to do with being able to see guys. With their guys also up front and our guys. And I'm not the tallest guy in the back there either. So being able to see, and then, sometimes when that happens, you don't want to just throw it blindly.
What? I don't, it's just, again, I think brain matter oozes out of your head if you're around Mike McDaniel. And I think it's certainly, I don't blame Tua altogether, but it's just, there's something very, very wrong with that organization. Finally, Michael Penix plans to play this week for the Falcons when they beat Miami.
Yeah, that's the plan. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. All right, short and sweet, because it's that time of the day, or time of the week, I should say. We head down Alligator Alley, past the new Alcatraz, whatever the fuck they call it. Close to 305, but not really, sort of. Let's head to WQAM's very own Trevor Harris, producer, co-host extraordinaire, here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Good morning, Trevor. How are you? Now, when you're making and cutting up all this Tua and Mike McDaniel stuff, every week seems to get just a little worse. Do you feel like some of your brain oozes out your ear? And I applaud you. I applaud you and your coworkers over at QAM in Miami for being able to do your due diligence and do a good job cutting this up. Because I tell you what, I would go into the bathroom with toothpicks and sriracha and shove them in my face and try to just end it so I couldn't hear or see him ever again. Was that going too far?
To sing God Bless America and pasties and a G-string up here, I'll do it.
That's how I feel sometimes when I cut up McDaniel and Tua sound. I feel like I need pasties and a G-string to do it and say God Bless America now.
Well, we'll start with the Dolphins. We'll start with the negative stuff, and then we'll move on to what I think is going to be a huge game for the Hurricanes coming up this weekend. I think they're going to completely redeem themselves. They should be pissed. They're favored by 30.5 points.
Too many points. Too many points, in my opinion. Too many.
Well, I'm just taking the over. I'm telling you right now. It's 45.5. I'll just take the over.
Yeah.
I mean, they could win by 28, and or back off. They could be up by 35. Give a garbage touchdown at the end. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
So I have an in-law who's my cousin is married to a Florida State alumni. He was at the Florida State Stanford game, by the way.
Oh, out west. Oh, yes. How was that? We know the outcome, but I mean, we know
I don't rag on him because I'm this year. I usually like send him a funny text here and there. This year I'm not because I'm just being nice. Because last year was 2-10, and
yeah,
I just didn't want to kick a puppy when he was down. This year, like, I don't even want to kick him when he's down because it's a G5 program now, which I never thought I would say that in my lifetime and anywhere. So all I know is he is he's got money and he's taking a lot of his donations away from Florida State right now until Mike Norvell gets fired, actually.
But here's the thing with Mike Norvell, and I'm going to talk about this more with Matt Baker next hour at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
They can't fire him, Trevor.
No,
they can't. They can't. They're too much in debt. There's no money. They don't have the Gator budget. They're screwed. I mean, I suppose you could fire him, but I mean, who's coming in to take his place? It'll be very, very, very cheap money. That's for sure. They can't afford to fire him. They have screwed themselves.
Yeah, I know. I have no words to say. That's why.
There's no. I mean, Penn State's got them. Penn State just shut off $59 million to get James Franklin and go bye.
They have Terry Pagula as part of their boosters and alumni. They're like, yo, to make this guy go away. It's like, no problem, anyways. So
you think he'd put that money to the Buffalo Sabres, even though they won last night? I mean, the Bills are one thing. The Sabres are a horrible organization.
Don't get me started with the Sabres anyways. That thing's been down since they signed Billy Lano to a ridiculous contract.
And they got some talent on that team too. But
yeah, they finally do, but now they just need to wrap it all together anyways. So
but we'll get. It's just amazing. I mean, Florida's got a huge budget, so I mean they're going to. And I don't think Lane Kiffin is leaving Mississippi. I don't think he's leaving. I really, really don't. I'm not alone in that assessment, but whether it's going to be John Gruden or we'll see who they go after. Dan Mullen is having a time of his life over in Vegas at UNLV, and they're 6-1. They're going to compete for one of those group of five. So wouldn't that be something if they got into the college football playoff? And
that's what I would not be surprised if Dan Mullen goes to Florida State, though, because I feel like he can probably come in for the cheap or something.
What money? What? I don't know what budget that they have. They don't have a lot. They just don't have a lot. We'll get back to college football in a second. I want to focus on the Miami Dolphins. And every week, we hear every week it's the same thing. You hear about Stephen Ross is going to wait now. It's going to be you called it before. You think somebody's going to get left behind in Brazil,
Spain.
Sorry, Spain. And I don't understand it. Tua's saying, how about Tua yesterday? I can't see Waddle. It's too many tall linemen. What are you, nuts? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you saying? You heard Teddy Bruschi, right, on Sunday, just absolutely.
I heard Bill Cowher going off on that whole Dolphins team as well. That was something, too. I found it during postgame. I was like, I'm playing this as a rejoin. I was like, I don't care if I lit the place on fire, but this thing needs to be said by Bill Cowher at least.
Yeah, go ahead. No, there's no question. But you heard what Teddy Bruschi said, right?
No, I've not.
You haven't?
No, play it for me, please.
Oh my God. Okay, let me just scroll down and get it from yesterday.
Fuck it, send it in.
Hang on, you're going to do that.
It's bad enough I was watching Hell's Kitchen season 1.
The what?
I was watching someone on Vice, Dark Side of Reality Television. They did one on Vice. I was like, ooh, on Hell's Kitchen. I was like, ooh, I am in.
Oh, where the hell is it? Did I go buy it? Oh, Hang on.
But how was your high school reunion? Unfortunately,
Oh,
though,
great. It was
I gotta ask.
absolutely fantastic. And, head coach Keith Croft there, my high school football team has been phenomenal. They're having a little bit of a down year this year, but they're going to make the playoffs.
There we go.
They have to play a lot. They play a lot of teams outside of Rhode Island because they're so powerful.
There we go.
But the head coach Keith Croft gave an unbelievable speech before the homecoming game. Mike McDaniel should take notes. Mike McDaniel could not inspire a jelly donut. I mean, it's that bad.
He can't even inspire one of these Arm & Hammer things that you put in your shoes to make the deodorizer go away, at least.
Okay, here's Teddy Bruschi from the other day talking about the Miami Dolphins.
This coach, tuning out a coach. When owners hire head coaches, okay, this is what I want you to think about. That's the voice, and that's the picture, and that's the man that your players will be seeing every single day. At 8 in the morning, all the way to 6 when they leave. He speaks to them in front of them, at practice, in the meetings, all the time. You want that in front of your players? Look at that picture. Is that the one that you want leading your franchise, okay? That's what you got to think about, because that kind of picture, I'll just be honest with you, I don't see it with Mike McDaniel, okay? If I had to see that man in front of me with some of the things that I've seen him say, and I've watched a lot of his press conferences, and I've watched a lot of him from the Hard Knocks a few years ago, I don't know how I'd be able to play in that locker room, to be honest with you. The man that I want leading me that's going to take you to championships is someone that's the exact opposite of that man in Miami.
I mean, what I've been saying for 2 years, no question about it. I've been saying it for 2 years. He inspires nothing. Nothing.
I could say 3 years at least, because he had some bad losses at his second year. Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5. No playoff wins. Again, team has won the playoff game in 25 years. It's just I just don't get it. Has there been any reaction? I played Joe Rose from the other day going off.
Oh, Joe Rose.
That was great.
Joe, I know Dolphins Twitter is going after Joe Rose now, and I think Joe Rose was like, "Oh, the Dolphin fans are soft. They love Tua. They're like, oh, he could do no wrong." Like,
are you serious?
The Dolphin fans, the most idiotic, stupid fan base. I said this to you guys, like, you Dolphin fans are the biggest crocks of shit I've ever seen. Anyways,
You gotta be kidding me.
yeah, and I like the people still defend Tua like he's Tua from Alabama. Was like, stop it, please. I don't
Defend him how? How do you defend him after last week when he runs his mouth and everything else, and then
You can't defend him. He's like-
egg. You lay a freaking ostrich-sized egg in that game. You throw 3 picks. You get killed in
pick 6 too. Also,
Yeah, of course, in a pick 6. That's common. I
like,
mean,
it was. I look at people, I was like, you defend this fucker still? Like, you got to be effing kidding me, honestly.
it's just absolutely unbelievable.
Like, I gave myself a year, my first year, like, let's see what this kid could do. And I was like, I'm not sold on him. He's got concussion problems. He doesn't know how to read the pocket, at least. People wanted to crucify me on the effing cross, anyways. And I said, all right, fine. If Jalen Hurts wins I said this back then. This is 2023. If Jalen Hurts wins a Super Bowl for Tua, I'm going to be the biggest a-hole around here. Anyways, lo and behold, I've not tried to be the biggest a-hole around here, but I'm trying to say, like, I'm kind of right over here so far.
Remember all the tank for Tua people out there?
Oh, my God.
Tank for Tua. Now, look, I think a lot of this is with coaching. And
personnel too, I'll say.
Did you have Richie Incognito yesterday?
Yes. I sent that video to a few people. It's like, we can't play this. It's like, why? It's Richie Incognito. It's like, yes. I'm like, I love Richie Incognito.
So
I don't care.
What do you mean you're not going to? Somebody wouldn't let you play it?
Some people just don't like Richie Incognito, what happened during the bullying scandal down here. But I'm like, who cares? It's someone's saying something, at least. It's different from the talking heads on the 4-letter network or somewhere, you know?
Yeah, an NFL network. But let me, in case you missed it, you're not going to play the whole thing. Here's some of it.
I hate this. I hate the whole situation they have brewing down there.
Yep.
This is a dumpster fire, and you have McDaniel and Tua throwing bags of gasoline into the dumpster fire. We look at this guy on TV. I do not see a leader of men. When I'm going out there on Sunday and I want to rip someone's head off, I'm not getting fired up by this guy's pregame speech, right? Now let's go to Tua. Tua last week was talking about guys being late, and he's talking about leadership. Well, the leadership starts and ends with Tua because you're the franchise quarterback.
Yep.
Everybody was taken aside on, was he pointing fingers at the locker room? I think when he said leadership, he was pointing a finger right at Mike McDaniel. Yeah. Because when you have people constantly late in a professional sports organization, that shows fractures. That shows favoritism. Oh, you were 5 minutes late. It's all good. You go out there and play. That, to me, is the biggest fundamental flaw of this entire operation. McDaniel's going to roll with Tua. This offense was built for Tua. He's going down swinging with his guy. He's going to be fired imminently. I saw Mr. Ross put out a statement, and he said he's going to give Greer and McDaniel time to get this right. It's not working. And with Tua throwing up punts to the defense, it's definitely not working.
I mean, there's Richie and Kyle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody has the same theme.
Yeah.
And it is the same theme is Mike McDaniel is not a leader of men. He's not a leader of he's not a leader of jelly donuts.
He ain't a leader of eating glazed donuts anyways. You can't this dude is just like I'm just an offensive coordinator who's got the head coaching job. Not really an offensive coordinator. I was a passing coordinator. And it's like I just need speed. And now you need to try to everyone be a tough guy now, which you're not. You can't do that. And everyone can read the tea leaves and we could all take this all back to Tyreek Hill clapping after getting carted off the field. He knew this place was a dumpster fire, and he was glad
he quit last year. I mean, he quit last year, and you still kept him. He quit on you. He admitted it. He quit. Yeah. Walked away during the Jets game. They are an absolute dumpster fire. But it's the same theme from everybody, local, regionally, and nationally. Mike McDaniel is not a leader of men, which we've been saying for 2.5 years.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. But Stephen Ross, I don't know what's up there, honestly, with his people. He's got a bunch of yes men, I like to say. He has no men, anyways. Or
no, not when it comes to the football team. Like I said, he does great things.
He's an absentee owner.
Other than the football team, everything else he does, he touches, it turns to gold. And he does great stuff for the community, donates money. We grant him all of that. But as far as running a football team, you're a bozo. You are. And you have bozo. You got a bozo, half a bozo GM, and I don't even know your head coaches were being called bozo. That's an insult. I call him Charlie Brown. I think that's an insult to Charlie Brown.
I think he's one of those old cartoons that didn't have a voice, that didn't get to motion capture anyway. That's what he is anyways. He's a newspaper comic, that's why.
That's
a disrespect for the newspapers too. Also,
people call the station and complain, or I'm sure the Hurricanes are getting top priority, but there are people calling, and actually, are there anybody that calls up and defends Mike McDaniel?
No, everyone's ripping him a new a-hole anyways, or just chopping his cherry tree down is what Abe Lincoln would do anyways.
Yeah, so he's responsible all about Tua, right? That's why they all defend Tua. If Tua had another coach, he'd be different. But maybe he would be a little different.
If he had an offensive, the other thing is Richie, I could need to send that clip later on. He's like, they've done an awful job with the offensive line, anyways. They bring an awful tackle after awful guard after awful center, anyways. He's never had consistent line play, anyways.
I'm going to play another clip for you. Yesterday on the Rich Eisen show on ESPN, Kurt Warner, he had his thoughts about the Miami Dolphins.
I just think he's lost his confidence. All the things that he's done well over the years, he's not doing now. It looks like he's second guessing everything. He's questioning every decision and every throw. I mean, I mentioned it like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Had an interception early where he came back and dropped back, and there was like a skinny post or a quick in to Jalen Waddle. And that is a throw that he hits his back foot and he throws that thing every single time. I mean, that's what he's made his money doing. And he comes back and he hesitates, and then he double pumps it, and then he throws it late. And Jalen Waddle is over there going, well, like, okay, he didn't throw it on time, so I don't think the ball's coming. And the ball hits him in the numbers, and it pops up, and it's intercepted. And it's just that to me is kind of what's going on in Miami right now.
Well, but don't forget, Tua said yesterday that he didn't see Waddle. The linemen are too big.
Republic, baby.
I wish Jim Mendich was alive still these days, because I know he would rip this Dolphin organization to a new level. I just wish he was still alive for seeing this. I know he's up in heaven right now, but he just looks like Jesus Christ.
All right. Did you, I forget, did you produce, again, I was away last weekend. So did you produce the Hurricanes game against Louisville?
Yeah.
On Friday. That was painful. Right up in.
Can I be honest? I had a weird feeling going in that Friday night game,
Well,
by
I
the
knew it
way.
would be difficult. I hate Friday night games, but
You're not the only one who said that, by the way. Joe Z was ripping ripping it on the broadcast, the hotline, leading up to it as well. Because it is, I will say this. The Big Ten doesn't do it. The Big 12 doesn't do it.
The Big Ten does do it. The Big Ten has Friday night. That Friday night game.
It's usually bullshit teams, anyways.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like you leave it for like the AC. Like if you do the Friday night games, you leave it to the Carolina teams that are close to each other, or make it the West Coast teams do it. Honestly, just do it there. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me with these Friday night games. It's awful. The product's bad. It's like Thursday night football, but worse. Anyways, even though the Kings are all coming off a bye, you're making them play Friday night because you want to give them enough time to recover fully to play Stanford on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest here. If this Stanford game was on the West Coast, what time would it be at? Almost 10:30 at night, anyways.
It'd be 10:30, either on ESPN or ACC Network.
Exactly, because the ACC does not care about its product at all. They don't care what teams is playing at what time, anyways. It's like, we need the ratings, anyways. The ACC, I'm about to say this about the ACC. I'm at that point now. If the Big East could literally get their money together and tell the Catholic kid schools, hey, we're going back to the big leagues and getting the football teams back. Just get all the old ACC team, the old Big East teams, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Syracuse. Let them go back there, please. This bullshit Friday night game would not happen anymore.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen the rest of the year. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen the rest of the year. But that had to be tough. I really thought, and even when we're down 11 late, I said, you know what? I was telling I'm like, look, I'm not panicking. I think they're going to come back and win. I really did. Despite Carson, but the first 2 interceptions for Carson, I'll give him a lot of latitude. Those were unbelievable plays by the Louisville D-backs. The third one off his back foot was horrible, and the fourth one, again,
was horrible.
Even though he came out and said yesterday or the day before that he was not throwing Elijah Lofton under the bus. He kind of did.
He did.
But I thought he was right up until the end. And I don't know what the call were. A lot of the calls like, oh, they should have just ran the ball, kicked the field goal, go to overtime, or what was it? What was it like after the game?
Depressing. People were pissed. I know that.
They want Mario fired, which is always the
no Mario fired. Thankfully, we don't. I kind of wish we took calls, but a lot of the board op we usually do, who does those games, he refuses. Does not want to take any callers at all. So, and I'm.
Why is that his decision to make?
He's an old head. That's why.
The guy. I think you're talking about the guy in the air, the guy producing.
Both. I say we should take callers. Don was like, no. I don't want to hear a caller anyways. That's why, because. Right. I'm very pro caller down here. A lot of people hate it, and I said, well, we do live in a country that we can say whatever we want.
40-0. Would he take calls then? So you can't have it both ways. Look, I've been on.
Probably not.
Hey, I mean, and Don's a good guy. I get it.
Yeah.
But, man, how'd you like to be on the air after the Patriots blew 2 Super Bowls to the Giants, and especially in 2007, with those drunken fools calling until 3 o'clock in the morning? You know, I'll ruin the perfect season. You got to take the good and the bad. That's what it is.
I got breaking news, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Heat guard Terry Rozier arrested as part of the FBI gambling inquiry from Shams Charania, by the way.
Oh, boy, that's something. Now, they lost to Orlando last night.
They played last night?
Yeah.
Totally forgot about it.
Wow.
That just came across my high-speed wire right now. So.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to retweet it. Miami Heat guard. Hang on, I'm going to do my own breaking news sounder. You know where that's from?
Batman?
Close. It's the old Super Friends Trouble Alert sounder from the Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, former Celtic, by the way, arrested early this morning as part of an FBI sports betting gambling probe. The Eastern District of New York and FBI Director Kash Patel will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. this morning to announce arrest from the investigation. Wow. Now, this is where, and I have Bill Spiros on every week. You know, Bill,
yes. Great segment, by the way. I enjoy that.
Thank you. Formerly of the Herald, but now senior betting analyst at bookies.com for a while. And this is where I don't know what Terry Rozier was trying to pull. This is what it's going to be really interesting to see, whether it was from prop betting or some kind of shenanigans that went on. But that is to be arrested. You cannot get away with anything gambling-wise anymore. You will get caught. I don't care if you're 50 times removed. If they see patterns out there, and they even remotely have a residue of a link to you, you will be arrested. It's very, very difficult to do. It was much harder to do. It was much easier to do, I should say, when gambling was illegal. But it's legal now. And it's hard to pull the wool off. These people are in to make money. So that is going to be something.
I kind of want to know where this presser is going to be. I kind of want to watch this anyways.
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Will this be on my local news station or on whatever local?
I think so. I think it'll be on the local news station. I'm sure they're breaking in already this morning. All right. So after the hurricane, so Don didn't want to take any calls, whatever.
No, it's not done. Dono didn't want to take calls anyways. So
yeah, okay, but
we do have Don Bailey on the local post game. Joe. So I was doing highlights. So I don't get to talk to Joe directly, but he sounded depressed and annoyed. Anyways, he was ripping a lot of the ACC, and it was off air. So
I was hoping the last interception was going to get overturned, but clearly it was a pick. I thought maybe the nose of the ball hit the ground. It was an unbelievable play, but
a pick is a pick is a pick, anyways. And if
they had the game time feel anyway, but I do think there's still a double standard. And I said this earlier in the show, Trevor, about when the Hurricanes lose as opposed to everybody else. It's never okay for the Hurricanes to lose. Now they've lost in some crazy fashions.
Yes,
the Georgia Tech thing, that's a whole different ballgame.
Syracuse,
okay, they lost but in the defense was terrible, and I understand all that. This game, though, look, they lost to a team in Louisville that should have been ranked probably before they played them anyway. They're ranked now. They're a good football team. And
great head coach, too, also.
Other schools have lost at home to other decent football teams this year as well. But when Miami loses, it seems to be such a double neg. It seems to the sword never – it seems like everybody – is rushed to judgment. They're done. They're this, they're that. They can't recover. It's always the same old. People are saying it's the same old thing. I understand where some of that come from. I do get it. But I still feel like this is still different this year. And I think we're going to see them get back on track in a big-time way. And I still think they can run the table. They don't play Georgia Tech.
Or Virginia.
But you think Georgia Tech? Do people think Georgia Tech, Virginia, or Louisville are going to go the rest of the season without losing? You people are crazy. They're going to lose. They're going to lose to somebody. Hey, this just in, breaking news. Breaking news again.
Man, we're busy today. We're breaking news today.
Breaking news from me. Other teams in the ACC will lose this year at some point.
Yeah,
it happens. You can lose to anybody on any given Saturday or Friday. Or even
Thursday
Tuesday or Wednesday if you're in the MAC or the AAC.
Or the Conference USA.
Boy, they got a doozy of a game tonight. Was it Sam Houston and Georgia saw the 2-1-6 teams.
Well, get a better. What's the Thursday night football game tonight?
It's Minnesota. It's at the Chargers. It'll be.
I saw the Chargers bringing back the old LT Charter unis. Get the number off the helmet, and we're good to go, anyways. So
it'll be a Vikings home crowd as it usually is at SoFi. The game tonight. Oh my God!
So I was trying to figure out what the game was tonight. Anyway, so I was like, I know I got to do the pick.
It's South Alabama at Georgia State. Both teams are 1-6.
Can I request a local blackout?
It's on ESPN2. How much is that going to cost ESPN to send out a crew and pay people to do that game that no one?
I know they could go cheap on the sideline reporter because they can go ask someone from Atlanta from 680 The Fan or 92.5 The Game at least. They should just do that.
I don't know.
But I know they won't.
That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Trevor, what do you got going on? Are you producing the game on Saturday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN?
Yep, I'm doing that game. I got that. It's a skeleton crew, and it's only me and this other kid. So wish me luck anyways.
Well, the only reason why I say I think the Canes are going to put up some points. And I heard Frank Reich. Thanks for sending all those cuts over. Yeah.
No props.
This team's won They haven't won on the road yet, and I don't think they will this weekend. I think they're going to get clobbered. Bad spot for Stanford to come in this week. Frank Reich's a good guy, but bad spot for them this week. So what else you got going on?
Upper Bowl podcast is out. That's more importantly. It is coming out later today. I got myself. The Duncan Dad is in Spain right now, so it's another week of solo shows, or I have a co-host. This week's a solo show, but I do have two guests this week. Kevin Kincaid of Crossing Broad, where we talk about the Eagles and Vikings, talk about the Eagles and Giants. And making our first appearance on the show, Savannah Huemuller will make her show appearance. And we're going to talk some NFL, some NHL, and so much more anyway. So check out her work on Savannah Huemuller on Sports Savvy. So,
all right, now who is she again?
She works for D210 Sports in Dallas anyways.
Nice. So. Fantastic. All right, Trev, all the best. Thanks so much. And thanks for the sound.
No problem. I'm going to say...
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Fuck it, send it in.
I'm gonna send it in and go back to sleep.
Go back to bed. 10 o'clock. You can hear all about Terry Rozier getting arrested for gambling charges. Don't forget. Set your alarm. All right.
Later.
Yeah, there he goes. Just like that. Just like that. Hector Longo from the Eagle Tribune is going to join me momentarily here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. And while we're waiting for Hector, speaking of the Patriots, here's Drake May. I'm playing the Browns. This is from Patriots.com.
Looks like they don't give up a lot of yards.
Yeah, they're really good. So they got one of the best players in football. They have some young guys that are real good. I think play some man. They play tight covers. They're probably one of the best cornerback duos we'll see. When they do mix up zone, they get good job of getting their eyes on the quarterback and making plays on the football. See that last week. So we got a tough challenge, and it's going to start another game at home. So it's going to be good getting back at home, but we know we got a tough challenge. Just to clarify that.
Yes, it will. Here's Dylan Gabriel looking for explosive plays. Quarterback.
Like I've said before, you want explosives in the pass game. Not only vertical throws, but also maybe a 5-yard throw that can go for 20. So any explosives really help.
Yeah, they do. And Dylan Gabriel, if he fails to get the job done, maybe you see Shedeur Sanders, or God forbid he gets hurt, you might see Shedeur Sanders in that game. But Patriots need to take care of business. The Browns, statistically, defensively, a very good football team. And look what they did to Miami last week. Or look what Miami did to themselves. Although I don't count Miami as a real football team because they're not. And we welcome in Hector Longo from the Eagle Tribune this morning. Hector, before we get to you in a second, I did want to get this out of the way. On the pathetic meter or poll out there, are the Miami Dolphins suckier than the Jets? I don't know. It's close. But here's Aaron Glenn yesterday. Listen to this from SNY Network. Back and forth with a reporter. You heard Woody Johnson. I played Woody Johnson yesterday about Justin Fields, and now he's Aaron Glenn, the head coach, being questioned about it.
Woody made his position pretty clear yesterday with the comments.
Yep.
Does that impact? I mean, we know how he feels about Justin. Clearly, he does not want to play. But how does that impact your?
What made you say? Did he say that?
Well, he was very critical of him. So
what did he say?
He said he couldn't complete a pass.
Did that say he doesn't like the quarterback?
Pretty much.
Did that say does quarterback's not playing?
No. But
no. He said
how that his opinion impact your decision.
Yep.
Your owner is basically stating that he doesn't think Justin Fields is getting the job.
Well, I said before that Woody puts that in my hand as far as who plays, and I don't see that changing. He trusts me to make that decision. Again, he made a comment, and he has every right to his comment. And again, that comment was actually said by a number of guys, including our quarterback, as far as the efficiency of how we play. And we're not going to fight that. We understand that. We have to get better. We do. But I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he said he doesn't like Justin. I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he says that Justin's just, I don't think so. Yes, is he upset that, we haven't completed a pass as far as what you just said? He said, I didn't even read it, so I don't know.
Sure. That's bullshit.
That's what he says. But overall, we're on the same page when it comes to that.
No, you're not on the same page. You're not even in the same zip code. Finally, here's Justin Fields when asked about the reaction to Woody Johnson's comments.
Justin, what was your reaction to Woody Johnson's comments yesterday?
I didn't see any comment. I'm not. Y'all know I'm not.
Bullshit.
Social media at all.
Nobody briefed you here that with the Jets. What he said.
No, not really.
Okay, no one's buying that. All right, we welcome in Hector Longo from the Eagle Tribune. Good morning, Hector. How are you? Can't hear you. Your mic's muted. Sandra! I can't hear. I can see. I see you. I can't hear you. Your mic's muted. Is your mic muted? You can hear me, right? You can see me. There you go. Let's see. I see you. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. I see you, but I cannot hear you. Try that again. Okay, well, we'll wait. Anyway, here's more. Justin Fields asked if he's disappointed about being in the. Let's get back to his reaction to Woody Johnson.
Justin, what was your reaction to Woody Johnson's comments yesterday?
I didn't see any comment. I'm not. Y'all know I'm not on social media at all.
Nobody briefed you here that with the Jets. What he said.
No, not really.
He was highly critical of you. He basically said, if you guys could complete a pass, things would look good here. He kind of said, the quarterback play, the coach can't win with a quarterback with a rating like they have. Like, you weren't aware of any of that?
Nah, I wasn't. Like I said, I'm not on social media. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Of course, everybody knows. I need to play better. We need to play better as a team. And of course, no matter how the offense does as a unit, I'm gonna get the blame, and I understand that. That's just what comes with the job. But honestly, it's what comes with it. So you can't let any.
All right, there's Justin Fields, but we have more breaking news going on, and it is Terry Rozier was arrested. We told you that about 5 minutes ago in a gambling situation by the FBI, and now we have another person. So Terry Rozier, former Celtic, another former Celtic, and current coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups, has been arrested by the FBI for alleged illegal gambling, according to Sham Sharania at ESPN. All right, Hector, good morning. Are you there now? Hello.
Try me now. Do you got me now? Do you hear me?
Yes, there you are. Here and see you. Looking happy and handsome this morning. How goes it?
Hey, we're doing okay now that the earbuds are kicking in and I can hear you guys, and I'm having a better morning than Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier.
Holy cow. I think they're scratching the surface. Well, so there's a press conference going to happen at 10 o'clock this morning. So as you said, and I have, Bill Sparrows on every week from bookies.com, senior betting analyst. You cannot, since gambling is legal now, and everybody is watching everybody, anything remotely that looks out of place, you'll get caught. It was much easier to get away with shit when it was illegal. But now that it's legal, it's much tougher. People always think they can outsmart. You can't. The slightest, even if you're 50 times removed from a situation, if they see the little red flag that goes up, I'm telling you, you can't get away with it. I can't wait to hear and see what happened. But anyway, I'm assuming your lovely wife, Sandra, got you back on?
I think so, yeah. Hopefully we're good now. Lost without her, Pete. Lost without her.
I know. All right, well, that's great. So that's so Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups. We'll see if any other former Celtics get arrested today for gambling. So how you doing, man? Great, nice week coming up. I just played Drake May, played Dylan Gabriel and everything else. And everything is all hunky-dory in Foxborough. And hopefully they're not reading a lot of press clippings. Just keep it going. I mean, it's very, very impressive. They'd be the number 2 seed now. We're almost halfway through the season. Just about. We will be, that's again 17 games. But if they win this Sunday, which they should, and go 6-2, if you told me they'd be 6-2 after 8 games at the beginning of the season, regardless of who they played or who they lost to, I'd say I'd be ecstatic over it. So just all good stuff coming out of Foxborough, mostly, right? I lost you. You went out again. I can't hear you. I see you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What did you do? I can't hear you. I know you're frustrated. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. And I can't even have you call in on the phone because Angel is been very, very sick this week. He's not going to be on until maybe, hopefully, back on Monday. Otherwise, I just have you call in. But something just went. But I still can't. I see you fine. I just can't hear you. That was weird. All of a sudden, it just went out. Nope. Something's got to be. Your mic is muted somehow. I don't know if you want to check the settings on your laptop or whatever, but usually that is the case, that your mic gets muted. All right. Try it again. Try to say anything. I see you. Nope, can't hear you. I can't hear you. Where did Sandra go? She's still around. Is Sandra still around, your executive producer? It's got to be something real simple, that the mic is muted, either on the laptop or I don't know if you have other earbuds you can plug in or what. We'll see. All right. While you're trying to figure that out, I'm going to say, here's more from Aaron Glenn for a second here. He does not want to give the Bengals a competitive edge.
Who's your quarterback?
We will have a quarterback on Sunday. I would tell you that.
You're not going to announce who the starters?
I wouldn't want to give them a competitive advantage when I have that opportunity, but we will have a quarterback.
The list was long. So for
Yeah.
Tyrod, did you say this day today?
Yes.
What is he dealing with?
He's dealing with a knee. It's something that he had before.
So just, you know who your starting quarterback is going to be. You are just not announcing it. So it isn't like this week is a competition where you're going to have.
I know who the starting quarterback's going to be.
Okay, you're just not telling me.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. Anyway, all right, let's see. Hector's going to try to reconnect. I mean, yeah, I'm sure the Bengals are going, Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, blah, 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 blah. Look, the Bengals should win this game, and they absolutely should win it. I know the Jets have had some close losses, but they're just a clusterfuck of a team, too. They're only a shade more in sync than Miami is. But Aaron Glenn he hasn't done a good job. There's nothing here. Woody Johnson doesn't like your quarterback, regardless of what you think, the interpretation. Everybody heard it yesterday. In fact, if you didn't hear it, I'll play it again for you from yesterday or 2 days ago. Woody Johnson talking about his football team and Justin Fields in particular. And here it is. Let's see. Here's Woody Johnson from yesterday.
What's your confidence level in Aaron to turn it around?
Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. You know, it's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. You know, I mean, he has the ability, but something just is not jiving.
Does that sound like a ringing endorsement of the quarterback? Continue, Ms. Johnson.
But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently with, at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season.
So what gives you hope then?
There is no
I just think defense, special teams are doing better. The defense is pretty good, and if we can just complete a pass, it would look good. We got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something. Otherwise, it's hard to have have a game that you can win.
What do you say to the fans who've lost hope? I mean, I know
There's nothing to say to the fans. We suck. We suck. And that was Woody Johnson saying to Aaron Glenn, don't you dare start Justin Fields. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor against the Bengals. All right. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco reveals that he is lonely in Cincinnati without his family yesterday. A pretty emotional moment for him.
How are you navigating being a dad?
Well,
This is happening.
the good thing, I guess you could say, is that I was in Cleveland by myself. You know, my family was in New Jersey. We decided to do that this year because last year we decided to do it the other way, and this year we just said, hey, let's keep the kids in their routine and see how that goes. And there's been challenges with that. I love being there and around them and doing all those things. But but at the same time, like they get in their routine, and they're having a lot of fun back at home. And early on in the season, they came out to Cleveland, and they're going to come out to this week's game. And I think there's always a challenge of sitting in a room by yourself and being lonely. So for me, it's trying to find ways to maybe stay over here a little bit longer, and then, just kind of take myself out of that mindset, call home, go sit at a restaurant by myself, and realize that, man, that's pretty enjoyable to do. After there's not too many situations. I tell people all the time. I mean, I used to see guys sitting at a bar by themselves, or just sitting by themselves eating and grabbing a little meal, and I'm like, man, I feel so bad for that guy. Like, you almost want to go join him. And now I realize, like, that dude was in heaven.
All right, that's Joe Flacco. I think we have Hector Longo back. Hello,
Desperation time, Pete. You got me now?
I got you.
All right.
It's the headphones, right? It's the
Yeah.
headphones.
Sandra pulled out the last resort. She took care of me this time again.
Super Sandra! Yay! So it's been a lot of great, as we were saying, it's been a lot of great stuff, mostly this week. I mean, all is well in Foxborough, all is well in the world of the Patriots. Just got to keep it going and stay reasonably healthy, right? Ramondre Stevenson is running with a purpose. I think he's figured it out how to run hard and also protect the football. Still get a little kitschy when he carries the ball, but he looked like a different type of runner last week.
I think everyone holds their breath, Pete, every time he runs the ball, not just because of what has gone on, but, maybe the fumbling's behind him. Hopefully it is. I mean, like you say, he just dropped shoulder and ran this week, and that was great to see. That was vintage Ramondre, old Ramondre. Interesting the way they used him, too.
Yeah, no, and I'd like to see, I want to see Travion Henderson get going a little bit more, whether it's out of the backfield or I feel like every time they hand him the ball that there's either 8 in the box or they kind of know what's coming. It's going to be some kind of run off guard up the middle. I like to see him split him out, split left or split right, like they do Ramondre Stevenson. I like when the Patriots, and they've been doing it for a long time, splitting out their backs sometimes, spreading everybody out. I'd like to see Mike Vrabel get him going a little bit more, but other than that, all of a sudden, this receiving core is looking like one of the best in the NFL. Who would have thunk it? I mean, when you really look at it.
It's amazing, Pete. The last couple of weeks, guys have been running free, running open, like, I don't know, like the old days. It's the only way to describe it. He's had plenty of guys to throw to. The windows have been big, and he's made every throw. Maya's made every throw. But watching Booty run right by the corner, last week.
Yeah.
You're like, what's going on here? This is too easy sometimes,
And then, then you got Mr. Hooper from Sesame Street making that great catch, a jump catch. I mean, May knew he could get up there for that ball. I mean, the Booty play, and the receivers have got to love how Drake May throws the football. I mean, it's absolutely a beautiful ball, and the receivers are making some unbelievable catches. I mean, Booty got 10 minutes on ESPN yesterday, on sports.
May has not missed many guys. I mean, when you're completing 80% of your passes, like he has 90% of your passes this week, he's not missing many guys. And they're a happy bunch now. You see him in the locker room, you see Diggs talking. They're a happy bunch, the receivers, and that's kind of interesting, Pete, because we know where they were a year ago, 2 years ago, and how bad things were with that group.
Well, when you have Josh McDaniels done an unbelievable job and not Joe Judge there, I mean, it's like night and day. I mean, absolutely night and day. Plus Mike Vrabel, great players, coach, but also a disciplinarian. I mean, you can just tell the respect that all those guys have for him and how hard they want to play for him. Unlike Charlie Brown here in not in Southwest Florida, but over there on the East Coast. I mean, you talk about complete opposites. Everybody wants to run through a wall for Mike Vrabel, and you couldn't run through a jelly donut for Mike McDaniel.
No, and they certainly believe, Pete. He's kind of. I give Mike credit. He's not a BS artist. He lays it out. Even to the media, Pete. Talking this week, he lays it out, lets you know what's going on, and the players respect that. They know their job, they know their task, they know what's asked of them. There's very little guesswork on the player's part, I think. And, he's straightforward. He let the world know. He cut some guys that, people thought might should have been around. And he's laid down his law, and good for him. It's really working good for the Patriots. They're an interesting watch on Sundays again. They'll be off these 1:00 games now, coming down the stretch because people are interested in them again.
Yeah,
It's even this week playing 2-5 Cleveland. I think a lot of people care about this week. A lot of people are into this game simply because it's a pretty good matchup for May to test himself.
No question. And statistically, it's hard to believe, but Cleveland's been one of the best defensive teams in the NFL. I don't count last week because they didn't play a real team. I don't count the Miami Dolphins, but nevertheless. But what is impressive about the win, regardless of them playing that team, is they had heart, they had soul. I said it on Monday. I said Cleveland played like heart, Miami played like fart. I mean, that's how it was. I mean, so they're not giving up. Miami's giving up. Cleveland didn't give up. Stefanski's got, Stefanski's a pretty good coach. He did get them to the playoffs 3 years ago, right? I mean, they were in the playoffs
Right.
3 years ago. And it's going to be an interesting look. The Patriots still are not. Nobody should take anybody for granted in the NFL. We say it every week, and I'm sure Vrabel is drilling it into their heads. Do not read the clippings. Do not become complacent. Go in, put your foot on the gas pedal, and take it to these guys.
They've got some pretty darn good personnel if you look at the roster. Respected guys. Defensively with Garrett, the two corners. How they got Tyson Campbell out of Jacksonville, I'd love to know, but he's kind of fit right in.
Grant Delpit, the safety's good. I like him.
Yeah, Delpit. They have players on defense. The Graham kid. So, and then offensively, they have Judy and the running back from Ohio State, Judkins.
Yeah, Judkins was unbelievable against Miami again. That team, and Njoku, I've always loved him.
Right, they have the two tight ends, Fannin and Njoku. They have some players, so it's easy to see. If you're a player watching on film, it's easy to see. Oh my gosh, we have our hands full with Myles Garrett. We have our hands full.
Njoku's out, right? Njoku's out, and Jack Conklin, the right tackle, is going to be out too. Seems that way.
Right, but their front is pretty good. Their depth is pretty good up there. You saw the way they ran Judkins. He's running the football pretty well. The only thing is, can the quarterback deliver when they need to? I'm sure that'll be the plan here. Make Dylan Gabriel make plays against the Patriots defense.
Is part of you hoping that, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Not that he's going to get hurt. But what if the Patriots knock him out of the game? Is part of you want to see Shedeur?
Love to see Shedeur. Love to see Shedeur. Honest to God. Big fan of Dion, and obviously we're of the age that I think everybody here my age loves. Bo Jackson loves Deion Sanders, and I would love to see Shedeur in there. That is such an interesting dynamic. He's one of those guys that definitely needed time, but you can see that the coaching staff isn't a big fan of the kid, the way they've treated him. So it's an interesting dynamic if he ever had to play, for sure.
Well, not only how they treated him, how they drafted him,
right.
Well, not just him. I mean, everybody else passed on him too. So there's got to be something there. But he's, a hangnail away from getting in there and trying to prove himself. I kind of would rather have him not do it against the Patriots because
no.
That would really stink. But look, this is a game. They're favored by 6.5. They should win and they should cover. But I'm still not. There's nobody that they can play the rest of the year, regardless of how easy the schedule is, that I'm going to take anything for granted. But I do like your idea that some games might start to be flexed to 425. See, I'm all about. I don't have to work the games anymore, so I'm all about me and the parties and the food. And I don't like 1:00 games. I know media people like it. I used to like 1:00 games, but as just somebody who just wants. Party organizing, all that stuff on rotating houses. We like the 425 game because you have a lot of time to prepare. You don't have people coming to your house 11:30, 11:45 in the morning, for a 1:00 kickoff, and all the food has to be ready. A lot of pressure.
It's funny you bring this up, Pete, because you talked about you told it's one of the last times I was on your house parties. What do you bring to a party where it's Cleveland? Like you said, you bring in.
Yeah, well, we decided Well, my dear friends Dave and Marie do a lot of the hosting. So do my we do our place because it's just we're a little smaller. It's a little tougher to get everybody in here, but some of my other friends have bigger places. Not that we haven't had it. We've had plenty of parties here, and we will. But they have. We're going real simple this week. It's only pizza and calzones.
All
Yeah.
right.
Now,
Because I just didn't know what food Cleveland was famous for.
Last week it sucked because I was not that it sucked. I was at my 40th high school reunion in Rhode Island, so I missed my friends Brian and Mary hosting. And as you know, we do the away theme. So apparently it was just awesome, incredible barbecue. Because of
Okay.
national tennis. So I heard the food was phenomenal. The week before was phenomenal when we played New Orleans and we had my friend Dave made this unbelievable gumbo. I bought Louisiana. I got made some Louisiana wings. And the food was off the chart. It could have fed an army. There were 12 of us there, I think. It could have fed 50 people. I'm not kidding. But so yeah, the Cleveland thing this week we're going real casual, just pizza and calzones.
All right, interesting. Because like I said, I just didn't know anything Cleveland was famous for food-wise.
Well, burgers and stuff like that. I think
All right.
Michael Simon's a big chef from Cleveland on the Food Network. That runs a couple of restaurants out there. But yeah. I mean, what food is indigenous to Cleveland? You're right. I'm sure there is. I'm sure technically there is something. I didn't look it up, and we just decided this week we're going to go very calzones and pizza.
Love it.
Nothing wrong with that. So what's your schedule like? Were you at the Celtics last night by chance?
I was not at the Celtics. I sat in misery and watched that one from my couch. I got my typical weekend. Big high school game on Friday night, and then head down on Sunday. I'll be flying solo, no wingman with Bill Burke this week. He's taking the weekend off, so I'll be down in Foxborough early Sunday morning and settling in over there. It'll be interesting to watch, Pete. I love the idea of Cleveland coming in and trying to push them around, and the Patriots, stepping up and having to fight back offensively. I'm interested in that today.
The one thing I want to see is I think for almost every game this year they have not been good defensively for the other teams, opposing teams' first drive.
Early.
I'd like to correct that. If there's always things you can nitpick about every football team. That's the one. Let's get out to a lead like we did in Miami. I know they were losing that game at one point, which is hard to believe now, but nevertheless, jump all over them. I think if you can jump on this team early, that the Browns will self-destruct. But the Patriots have not been able to stop anybody on their first drive this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Cam Ward covered them up last week, and it was they were definitely dictating. Tennessee was definitely dictating for the first quarter and a half before the Patriots finally said, I'm not sure they made any adjustments. I just think they started to play a little bit more, and I think it was just a matter of time for Tennessee to kind of make the mistakes that they were counting on, the holding penalty or the giant fumble that Ward had.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
But like you say, can the defense come out and dictate from the start? That is an interesting question because that's probably the next key in them moving up the ladder a little higher. Not standings wise, but reputation wise, how teams feel about them in the NFL. And they're into the they might have something here category right now. That next step is the defense has to be a little bit more solid from the start, like you say.
I'm getting that feeling from a lot of the national media, even though I see like Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike in the morning not have the Patriots in the top 5, but has Kansas City as the number 2 team. Yeah, I know they're playing better. I mean, I don't put a lot of stock in these knuckleheads because I still wonder actually how much football they actually watch. As far as the producer not handing them 10,000 pieces of paper with numbers on it. But I'm starting to get that 2001 feeling by a lot of the national media regarding the Patriots. They're becoming the media darlings again, and this is what the national media does. They build you up, and then they want to crap all over you. But because Belichick is not there anymore, and they hated Bill so much, I get a different feel from a lot of the former critics of the Patriots out there. They've kind of jumped ship, or they're back on the bandwagon. It's crazy.
I was going to say, the only person out there that's kind of been the slightest bit negative has been Cam Newton, which is kind of explainable, like you can understandable anyways. But honestly, if you look at them, they are getting their props right now. And I think it's almost like people want to see them be good again. Maybe the league needs that for a little boost because the halves are very familiar right now, Pete. The halves. Buffalo's been around, Kansas City's been around, the Eagles have been around. So I think they're looking for new teams. They want to see like a Tampa or the Patriots. Tampa is a little bit of a darling too. Everybody wants to see Baker Mayfield succeed.
No question. That team, you talk about buzzer's luck, to quote Jimmy Williams.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my God, Mike Evans. I mean, broken clavicle, probably out for the year. They cannot catch a break. And even when Brady was down there was a lot of, he had Evans and Godwin out there a few games, but not as much as he probably would have liked back in the day. But of course, Gronk was there. They had other things, but that's something. The Bucs they can't catch it. But still 5-2, and I still think they're going to be tough out when the Patriots play there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they had a shot the other night too. Even with the guys going down, they had a shot the other night. Late, Mayfield did not have a good game, but they were in it right to the end.
All right, Hector. Great stuff as always. Appreciate you, and have fun in Foxborough.
All right, we definitely will. Good weekend ahead, so I'm very excited for Sunday afternoon.
All right, bud. Take care. All the best. Thanks
Good talking to you, Pete.
Thanks to Sandra for getting you on the air.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you, guys.
Take care. All right, just like that, from one great guest to another, Matt Baker from The Athletic joining us this morning here for a few minutes. Matt, thanks for taking a few. Really appreciate you. How you doing?
Busy week, but I'm hanging in there. Hope you're doing well.
I am. Are you headed somewhere? Are you covering any one particular game this week? Last time we spoke last month, you were headed to Death Valley, I believe.
Yeah, nothing this week. I was at Florida, Mississippi State last week. I should be on the road next week. This one's a little bit of a breather for me.
All right. So the big question I have is, it's just two questions, and they concern Florida State, and they concern the Seminoles, and they concern the Gators. Glad to see Steve Spurrier Jr. is going to straighten everything out for the Gators this week as an analyst over there with Bill Gonzalez taking over. Do you know off the top of your head what is can the Florida State Seminoles afford to fire Norvell? Because I don't understand the budget. I know Florida's got a budget. I don't know what's left in the till, as they say, for Florida State. Do you?
So the cost would be in the neighborhood of $55 to $56 million thereabouts, plus or minus. So what's a couple $1 million between them. But the thing you've got to remember, there's a couple components to this. One is I was looking at Mike Norvell's contract the other day. There is a duty to mitigate. So if what that means, that's a fancy pants term. But if he gets a job next year at Tulane, right? I'm making something up, and they're paying him $3 million. Then Florida State doesn't have to pay him that $3 million, right? So it is a big number, but it could go down. And the other part of it is it's not like Florida State has to pay the $55 million. If they fired him right now this second, they don't have to pay that to him tomorrow or the end of the month or in 30 days. It's spread out over, I think it's 6 years. It's how much time is left on the contract. So it is a significant sum of money. It is if it were to happen, it's a big line item going forward. However, I do think the context is important, that this is something that can be spread out over time, and almost certainly would be.
Okay, it's interesting. And your gut feeling, I suppose if they ran the table, things would change, but I know the AD last week said, we're going to wait till the end of the season, but your gut feeling on Norvell's status with Florida State, will he be the coach here at the end of the season?
Is he still the coach 2 days after the season? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if things continue to go down this path, if they end up with a losing record.
I don't think it can. I think it's past the point of no return, right? With most, I'm old enough and I've been around this sport enough to know what it looks like and feels like when it doesn't work long term. I think it's at that point for Florida State. At Florida, it was similar when the Gators lost to USF. That was kind of okay, it's not going to work. When Willie Taggart lost, the opener in 19 against Boise was one, but there was one against Wake Forest later that year. That's okay, it's not going to work. And it feels like Stanford the other night for Florida State was that, where you can rationalize losing to Virginia on a weeknight on the road. You can rationalize losing to Miami. Miami's really good playoff team. Pitt was not good, but maybe Pitt's better. Like maybe you can make something work there. Stanford, there's no reason, there's no excuse. You cannot possibly rationalize it. One of the, by the odds makers, one of the worst losses in the last 35 years of Florida State football. I don't know how it continues. I just don't.
And then you got to figure. I mean, there's going to be then. Who do they go after? And same thing with Florida. For me, I don't think, and I'm not just because I liked the documentary recently on ESPN with Lane Kiffin and his wife. I don't think Lane Kiffin is going anywhere for any job. I think he's staying in Mississippi. How do you feel about that? Before we get into the Gators and Penn State a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he will be one of the bells of the ball here, right? Certainly for Florida, if Florida State were to open, he would be somebody that I would think would be on the list. But yeah, there's two questions. One is, does he want to leave? And just as a personal, as a human being, does he want to leave, or is he happy where he is? Mm-hmm. Then the other part is, how much better of a job is Florida or Florida State than Ole Miss? Mm-hmm. 10 years ago, it's a no-brainer. But it's not anymore, right? Like so much of it is about the money. And I'm not just talking about for the coaches, I'm talking about for the players, where being close to home doesn't matter as much. The name, the logo doesn't matter as much. And obviously Ole Miss has been more successful than Florida has. So like, how much better is it? Can you win a national championship at Ole Miss? That is an unanswered question. I think you can in the right situation. I know you can at Florida because it's happened, but that's just going to be what he's going to have to figure out. Am I in a great position now? Do I want to leave a good job for a maybe slightly better job? Do I want to restart my clock? Or you know what? I'm happy here. I'm making a ton of money. Let's just keep it going.
And then would the pressure be greater in the Swamp than it would be in Ole Miss? Probably.
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, look, Florida's fired the last 4 coaches after less than 4 years. None of them made it 4 full years. That's not unprecedented in college football history, but it's pretty darn uncommon. And 3 of the 4 had at least some level of success, right? In New Year's Six Bowl, going to the SEC championship game, right? The standard is so high, and the fan base demands so much, and they have reasons why. I'm not bashing the fans here, but it's different at Ole Miss. So that's definitely, absolutely something that a coach has to consider.
Are you hearing any more about John Gruden? There were ties with him and the Gators and blah, blah, blah. I mean, Virginia Tech is position going to be open. UCLA is going to be open. Have you heard any rumors or anything that's tangible about John Gruden coming back and coaching in college? Which is by people I've talked to said he definitely wants to, but how do you feel about it?
I want a lot of things. I would love to have a 1965 cherry red Ford Mustang, right? It's great to have goals, and maybe, I mean, never say never, right? I understand why he would be an attractive candidate. However, it's been a long time since he's coached in college, and it's been a while since he's coached, period, but a long time since he's been in the college game, and things have changed so much. And we can talk about, yes, it is more like the NFL than it used to be because you're paying players or whatever. That's totally fine and dandy. But how's Bill Belichick working, right? Like, you can't just say, oh, well, because this guy's been an NFL coach, he'll work in college. No, The game is different. Talent acquisition is different. Talent retention is different. You're dealing with 19-year-olds instead of 24-year-olds. The hashes are different, right? There's so many things. And not to say you can't have one success at both levels, but it's not just like a cut and paste, okay, we're good now. It doesn't work like that.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I'm just wondering, some of these institutions want to make a quote unquote like a big splash in the name, and they'll deal with the consequences later. But right, we got to get that. We got to get that name. A guy who's under the radar, I think, for Florida State, if they can't go after, or whatever happens with Florida, or whatever happens with Virginia Tech, Pennsylvania, what do you think? I've been kind of pontificating about this all week, about Alex Golesh at USF. And I think there's a guy, if he continues to win and possibly get even in the college football playoff, which is a distinct possibility if they keep doing what they're doing. Their only loss was getting clobbered by Miami. Why not him at Florida State? Is he a big enough name, or maybe fits their budget? Not only that, the guy can obviously recruit in the state. He knows the state. Probably a lot of those kids who are a lot of good players would follow him to the Seminoles. Do you think he would be considered for at least the Florida State job? Probably not the Florida job. It's not a big enough name. But for the Florida State job, how do you feel about Alex Golesh maybe stepping up and leaving the Bulls?
I think he would certainly be a good candidate. And I think Golish is a name you're going to hear, you've heard it some on the coaching carousel already. And as it gets forward, you're going to hear it more. And there's a bunch of reasons why. One is he's quite good, right? We've seen what he's done at USF. We have eyes, right? That's part of it. He's a younger coach who kind of understands this system. He's got chops in terms of his, he's worked at the Power Forward level as an assistant at Tennessee. So that sort of thing, the recruiting, the portal, right? All of those things. We also have to consider too, just the landscape as a whole, where I could see a program like Florida or Florida State in the past kind of, do we really want to hire the coach from USF, right? You could definitely see something like that for a bigger name program, especially because, Golish only has 3 or 2.5 years of head coaching experience. I get why that would be a concern. But the market right now, the carousel is crazy. Arkansas, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Florida, UCLA. I mean, Auburn might open. There's a non-zero chance LSU opens, potentially Florida State, on and on and on. Wisconsin. So where I'm going with this is I think we're going to see a situation where there are more good and really good jobs open than there are good and really good candidates. And I think that's going to drive up the level of competition for the elite candidates and just broaden the pool. So I could see a situation absolutely where Golish becomes an attractive candidate in a field where everybody's looking for somebody. That would totally make sense.
Last question here coming up. I'm absolutely convinced that Penn State will hire Matt Rule. I mean, he filibustered for the job a couple of weeks ago. It was unbelievable. Opened his press conference, and they can go and take one coach that doesn't win any big games to another coach that doesn't win against teams with tic-tac-toe and a number next to him, the ranked teams. I'm convinced that that's what they were going to do. What do you think happens with James Franklin? Does he go in the media? Does Virginia Tech go? Virginia Tech says they're all in. They're going to go crazy and spend all this money. What do you think though happens with James Franklin? Or does he end up at like a UCLA?
Yeah, I think he gets another coaching job because again, like I mentioned earlier, where the market is such that he might not need a year off. He might be able to go quickly from being unemployed right now to a power job this cycle. That's totally feasible. He wants it, right? He didn't stump on game day the other day just for fun. No, it's pretty clear he wants to coach very soon. And I think that's a good idea, right? You want to stay in the game as much as possible because things are changing so fast. You don't want to take a year or two off and then honestly, like Jimbo Fisher, where you take some time off and you're jumping into a stream that's so different. So like what would make sense for him? Yeah, Virginia Tech would be one. He recruited the DMV area very well when he was at Penn State. Like if Boston College were to open, would that be attractive? UCLA is an interesting one just because they are Big Ten. And I think his makeup and his career as a whole, he could probably plug and play just about anywhere. So that would be interesting. It's just a matter of what are the types of jobs that he wants. Because I don't have a great feel for what the market is going to be for him. Because you could see, well, look, he's built 2 programs. Penn State was in rough shape when he got there, and he made them competitive. But also he hit a ceiling. So like, what's the Cinderella or the Goldilocks sweet spot there in the middle? I'm not sure.
All right, just last thing, which I meant to bring up when we were talking about Florida State, Deion Sanders. His name is going to be bantered about, obviously. If you were setting a line in Vegas about Deion Sanders becoming the next head coach of Florida State, what would the odds be? 3-1, 4-1, 101? What do you think?
I would have it off. This is a terrible answer. I would have it off the board because I don't know about his health. Okay. That's the unknown there, and obviously you hope the best for him as a human being. That's more important than any win or loss, more important than any job. But if I don't know what his health situation is, then it's hard to say that, yes, he's going to be at Colorado. Yes, he would want to move to another job. Like in a perfect world, if he's healthy and able and wants to continue coaching, yeah, Florida State would be he would certainly be on the short list. But I don't feel comfortable giving an answer for something like that just because I don't know about his health, and obviously you wish him well.
Gotcha. Matt, thanks so much. Enjoy your stuff. Love it. Retweet some of your stuff as much as I can. Always a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy. So you're just sitting back this week and just flipping around and watching a whole bunch of college football.
I will watch as much as I can. I'll have a shift where I'm kind of monitoring and, from the couch and, okay, this game gets really interesting. What do I need to write from it? That sort of thing. Do that about every other week. And it's a nice kind of rhythm on the road one week and then monitoring everything. It's kind of trying to find that right balance there as a national guy. It's tricky. I'm not there yet, but we're getting there.
All right. Well, let's see if Brian Kelly wins this weekend. If he doesn't, he may be going bye-bye too. You might have that. You were at Death Valley recently. Anyway, Matt, you're the best. Thank you so much from The Athletic, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All righty. There he goes. Just like that is Matt Baker from The Athletic. Well, that is about going to do it for me today. Thanks to Matt Baker from The Athletic. Thanks to Hector Longo as well from the Eagle Tribune. Thanks to Trevor Harris from WQAM. Wishing Angel Martinez sending good thoughts his way that he can recover from whatever is ailing him. He's going to be off tomorrow. Big day coming up again. Pigskin Picks. Gabe Morency at 9:30 will have his. And a whole lot of John Meter-Perrell will join us at 9 o'clock. See what he thinks about the ACC. And Boston College is an absolute mess right now. And we'll get his thoughts on that and the ACC. A whole lot more. I am Pete. Have a great and safe rest of your Thursday, everybody. Bye-bye.